Ladies and gentlemen, we know the cost of going to Mars. I will continue to make I will start making some of the rebuttal of what the opposition side said in the last speech. First of all, they did not see the link between development of technology and applicable measures towards life. But ladies and gentlemen, what the NASA has developed since the 1960s until now has helped us in thermodynamics, in fluid dynamics, in inertial systems, in thermal control, in microelectrics, in computing, in aeronautics, in so many areas of scientific development. We cannot say that having a spaceship program and having a mission to another planet cannot give you technological development. That's not something that we can afford to hear. Another of the things that the opposition side said was that it was a high cost. It was a huge cost. We know it is a very high cost, but we are willing and we afford to do so. We are willing to invest that money in sending a manned mission to Mars or developing that technology. We know that it's probably around $40 billion what it would cost, but still the benefits that we would get from having this expedition and this manned mission to Mars, and mainly the development of the technology will be what we will receive from that, and that will be a very good investment. No, thank you. Bernardo also told you some of the benefits from that investment towards the future. One of my two arguments is how the robots and how the non-manned missions have not been providing results. There are some disadvantages about sending robots to Mars. For example, they can travel very few distances, as we can see from the Mars rovers and the different little artifacts that have been sent to the moon and different stars. We cannot provide enough results with these robots. They also can stop working in a certain time, even though there are a lot of technological advancements for making these robots not to be destroyed or to have any malfunction. We know that that may happen, and the billions of dollars that are invested in there will not be well retributed in that case. But that's the case because we are pursuing a manned mission to Mars. Yes?
Can you tell us what was the impact of the Spirit and the Opportunity robots that went into Mars?
Yes, the Spirit and the Viking that have been the different missions that have been sent to Mars, they have had very good results. I have to acknowledge that. They have taken little measures of soil that they have used there and they have investigated there, but they have not been able to provide it back and they have not had enough results. That's why we continue to pursue a manned mission to Mars, because those results have not been enough. And that's why we do not have limits and we're pushing the boundaries, a word that my teammate Bernardo said in the beginning. I will continue with my argument of how robots are not enough. Humans are better, ladies and gentlemen, and we know it. We can prioritize the experiment, and we can do experiments. Robots cannot do experiments. We know that for experimentation, we need a scientific method, and the robots cannot have a hypothesis and cannot formulate why of something. Robots are not enough. We need men. There are no problems for humans. The opposition side, they said that there could be some impact for humans, but there would not be impact. Different studies have shown us that there will not be psychological impact. There will not be any impact with the gravitation of Mars. There will not be impact with the radiation of Mars, because that is where the technology has evolved as well, thermal control, as I mentioned in my first minutes of speech. And we do not have enough technology right now, and we have to develop it with sending a manned mission to Mars. If we're able to send a manned mission to Mars, we will not have limits, and I continue, we will have to push higher boundaries, because we will not meet them. Another argument that I have is how we will not have political bonds. Ladies and gentlemen, in 1975, the Soyuz and the Apollo, these spaceships had one very historical and very emotional and inspiring accomplishment. The Soviet Union and the United States would shake hands in the space. That was probably the first step that ended the Cold War. That is how huge politically, I'll take in a second, that is how huge it would have an effect, not only in technology, but in the world in general, yes.
But are you saying then that the fact that China and the US are competing and wasting taxpayers' money is something good?
No, I'm not saying that it would necessarily be good, but it would be good in space. It's not good to be competing, for example, in weaponry, but it would be very good to be competing for aeronautical advancements and for technology. That is very good. That is a very sane and healthy competition, not one of developing what we know and you would not like to mention. I will continue with about not having political bonds. We will be inspiring and intriguing. In the opposition side, they said that going to Mars, to this rock, as they call it would not be inspiring, but ladies and gentlemen, it is both inspiring and intriguing. It would be, no thank you. It's very inspiring trying to go and to push the boundaries, to go to Mars, to go higher, to have better development. No thank you, to show how humanity has evolved in the last years. That is very inspiring, and it's also very intriguing. We do not know if there is life in other planets, and we have to know it. That is one of the main philosophical, universal questions from the beginning, from some centuries ago. That has been one of the main questions. Is there life in our planet? Well, we have to know it, because we are the human race, and we have to know it. That is intriguing. Ladies and gentlemen, if we want to know it someday, we have to take the steps. The first step, one of those first steps, is going to Mars. We have had some advancements in the past. Like, for example, we have discovered as humankind that Thailand has more hydrocarbon reserves than the whole Earth has. We know that the trans-Neptunian bodies, they probably have more water than we have here, and we will need those resources in the future. Right now, we are scarce in resources, and we are in heavy need of resources. The different analysts say that in the future, maybe in 10, 15 years, the world will not be for oil, but they will be for water, and there are the resources that we need. We need to start making and having those steps. I'll take in a second. We need to have those steps in this moment.
So are you saying that if we find water in Mars, you're going to bring it bottled down here to where we have oceans and we just need to purify?
No, thank you. It's ridiculous to say we would carry a bottle just to take Martian water. I mean, that's ridiculous. How can you mention that? We would have enough technology to send spaceships and to take the resources and to use those resources. That's what technology is being developed. And yes, in the future, that would be a possible possibility. That's the only way we have to do so. The resources will end someday, and we will have to colonize the other planets. Well, another example was the case 581, when last year the humans sent a message to the space, to this 581, which is a planet that is in the life range span towards its, what we could call its sun. Maybe there is life there, and the message will get there in 2029. Maybe in the future we will know that there is life in our planet, and we need to know it. We cannot waste what voyagers have done. We cannot waste what we have discovered in the aeronautics. We cannot just stop the thermal fluids development that we have. We cannot stop that. We have to continue and to improve even more, because we are pushing the boundaries as we say so. We will not have political bonds, and we will develop the technology way more. And that is, well, just 2 weeks ago I was reading in The Economist from one specialist that he said in the 60s, every American would say, why are we going to the moon? They would say, to beat the Russians. Right now, the 4 words are to stay here. And that's why I make this to propose this motion.